The people you work with would describe you in a way you'd be proud of. Patient, steady, the one who stays calm when everything's on fire. The one who actually listens, right? And then you get home and you walk through your front door and somebody you love looks up and asks, "Hey, how's your day?" Ah, all right. It's just one measly word, huh? A phone's already out, you're standing in the kitchen, but mentally you're just not there. You're just a body in a room. And the rough part is that deep down, on a subconscious level, you are aware of your subpar presence. You know you're not showing up the way you want to. The people you say matter most in the whole world are getting the ninth best hour of your day every single day. And you keep asking yourself, if I really love them the way I say I do, wouldn't I show up better? Well, today, I want to take that verdict apart because there is real science on what actually happens to you between your desk and your front door. And it tells a very different story than the one you've been telling yourself. Now, I spent over a decade sitting across from people one on one, and this pattern, the person who's wonderful everywhere except home, I met that person over and over and over. Different jobs, different families. It's the same pattern behind every single door. And almost every one of them had quietly reached the same conclusion you have. Something must be wrong with me. But watch what happens when we actually follow the day, hour by hour. Because your patience, your warmth, your attention, those aren't traits that just kind of ride along with you wherever you go. Remember the running tap from the very first episode of this channel? Your brain keeps books on everything. And today, you're gonna see the other side of that ledger. By the end of this video, you're gonna know exactly where the best of you goes every day. You're gonna hear about a group of flight attendants in the 1980s who explain your Tuesday night better than any self-help book ever has. And I'm gonna hand you a 10-minute move that changes who walks through your front door tonight. Because if nothing changes, the math stays the math. The people you love keep meeting the end of your day instead of you. So let's follow the day, shall we? There's a woman named Arlie Hochschild out of Berkeley. Back in the early 80s, she studied flight attendants, and she noticed the hardest part of their job never appeared on their job description. These women were being paid to feel a certain way, or at least to perform it hour after hour. Smile at the rude passenger, stay warm at hour 11 of the shift, calm, pleasant, unbothered, on command. And she gave it a name that changed the whole field: emotional labor. In plain language, managing your face and your feelings for other people is work. Actual work. It burns fuel the same way lifting boxes burns fuel. And what our research found is that performing an emotion you don't have or swallowing the one you do is one of the most draining things a human being can do all day long. Now, look at your day through that lens. The patience with the client who tested it, the calm in the meeting that made your chest go tight, or the 10th, no worries, of the afternoon when there were in fact worries. You've been doing heavy emotional labor since 8 in the morning. It just never showed up on a timesheet. And listen, I'm not standing outside of this one because I very much lived it from the other side of the counter. All those years working with my patience was almost unlimited. Somebody could be just flat out wrong, or could get short with me, or could just step right over the line of basic courtesy, and I'd stay calm and polite. Give them the benefit of the doubt. And honestly, most of the time I'd just let them win, smooth it over, and just make them feel good. But if someone in my own family did the exact same thing, I'd call it out right there on the spot. And I never decided any of that. It's like nobody sat me down and said, "Hey, save your best patience for the people you see least," right? I just kind of held myself to a higher standard at work than I did at home for years without once choosing it. And I need you to actually sit with this next part because it matters for everything that comes after. You're good at it, truly. Nobody at your work knows what it costs you. The composure everybody praises, that's a skill, an elite one. Most people can't hold it as half as long as you do. It's just expensive. So, what happens when the shift ends? There's a researcher at UCLA named Rena Rapetti, and she ran one of my favorite study designs I've ever come across. It's called Daily Diaries. Real families tracked day after day after day. What happened at work, and then that same evening, what happened at home. And what she noticed flips the whole script. After the highest stress work days, parents mostly did not come home and pick fights. They came home and withdrew. Shorter answers, less eye contact, less time with the kids. It's just the body showed up, but the person didn't. And in her data, that withdrawal reads as recovery. Going quiet is what a spent nervous system does. It's the body trying to refill the account with the people who feel safe enough to go quiet around. Remember the mask from episode 1? We talked about what happens when it slips, the snap. Well, this is the other thing the mask does. Some nights, it just doesn't slip at all. You just run out of whatever it takes to have a face. And the people at home gets the vacancy instead of the explosion. And I gotta be honest with you, I still live this one. Most nights I'm fully aware of my own track record. So before I walk into my own house, I kind of give myself this little pep talk at the door. Okay, step it up tonight. Be patient and actually listen. Be the guy you keep saying you want to be. And I mean every word of it. And then I walk in and somebody asks me a question, and on an empty tank, my brain does not hear a question. It hears a withdrawal. I catch myself thinking, you could have figured that out yourself if you just given it 2 seconds of thought. That's real. That's genuinely what runs through my head. I get annoyed at the effort I think they didn't spend, while I'm standing there spending none myself. And some nights I don't even answer at all. I just go quiet. We did a whole episode on that pattern, going quiet, because the silence is its own animal. But look at the shape of this. The pep talk was real. The intention was real. I made a promise at my own front door on an account that was already empty. So now, go back to that verdict from the kitchen. If I really love them, I'd show up better. See, you've been treating this like a love problem, when in fact it was never a love problem. It's a budget problem. Your patience is real. Your warmth is real. You proved it for 8 straight hours today on people you'll never see again. The account was full this morning, and your family just gets billed last. And once you see it that way, this stops being a question of character. It becomes a question of allocation. And allocation you can change tonight. 3 tools, all small, all tonight size. Beautiful pivot number 1, the threshold. There's a researcher named Blake Ashford who studies something you do a dozen times a day without noticing. Role transitions. Worker to commuter and commuter to parent. And his work found that every switch between roles needs a transition. A small ritual that closes one role and opens the next. The commute used to do this for free. 20 minutes of radio and nothing. And for a lot of us, remote work deleted even that. The laptop closes at 5:30 and you're supposed to be a parent at 5:30 and 30 seconds. I mean, no wonder the work self never comes off. Nothing ever takes it off. So build the threshold on purpose. 10 minutes, same ritual every day between the last work thing and the first home thing. Maybe walk around the block or sit in the car in the driveway. And let it be on purpose this time instead of something you feel guilty about. Or just change your clothes all the way, even if you're just changing into other comfortable clothes. Whichever method you come up with, that's totally up to you. What matters is that it's the same ritual on a daily basis. because you're teaching your nervous system where the workday actually ends. Allow me to share mine. Mine is the gym, a prayer, and some quiet time to reflect. And truly, for years, I believe I ran that ritual backwards. I'd only reach for them after a night I blew it. After the short answers, after the silence, it was my repair kit, right? My way of making things right after the damage was done. The move isn't finding a new ritual, it's moving the one you already have, right? The same gym, the same prayer, same quiet. Just place it before the door instead of after the damage. Beautiful pivot number 2. Name the 20 minutes. Now, I know what some of you are already thinking. So the tools just be more present? Push through the tired? No, I'm not going to tell you to white knuckle presence you don't have. That advice fails every single Tuesday. Repetti's research says the pull to go quiet is a real recovery need. Your body's going to take that recovery whether you plan it or not. So we're going to stop smuggling it and start declaring it. So you get home, you walk in, and you say it out loud. I need 20 minutes, and then I'm all yours. And then, and this is the whole tool, you deliver the second half. Because think about what that silence has been doing all this time. When you go quiet without a word, the people who love you fill in the blank. And they don't fill it with, his nervous system is recovering. No, they fill it with, did I do something wrong? Right? One sentence takes that off of them. One sentence turns your absence from a verdict into a clock. And take that 20 minutes properly because there's a science on this part too. There's a researcher in Germany named Sabine Sonnentag who studies recovery, how people actually refill after work. And what she found is that the half in and half out evening, so for example, your body's on the couch, but your head's still in the work email inbox, barely recovers you at all. It's gonna give you worse mood that night, and it's gonna give you worse focus the next morning. So the 20 minutes you take them all the way. Phone in another room, 20 real minutes beat the 3 hours of half rest. Beautiful pivot number 3. Bring one home. I love this one. Remember what we said about the composure at work? It's an elite level skill. So this week, we're gonna prove it travels. Pick one thing you already do flawlessly at work. It could be the phone that goes face down in every client meeting, or letting your boss finish a whole sentence no matter how long it takes, or the follow-up question, the one that makes people at work feel so heard. One behavior, and this week, one time you run it at home. On purpose, full work grade quality. Phone face down at dinner like it's a client. Let someone you love finish the whole story, like they sign your paycheck. Remember that benefit of the doubt I hand my patients all day? That one's mine to bring home. And I'll tell you what this tool is really for. Evidence. Because the first time you catch yourself giving a work grade skill to your own kitchen table, you're gonna feel something shift. The skill was in you the entire time. It was just spoken for. Now, straight talk. Week 1 is gonna be clumsy. The threshold is gonna feel silly. You're gonna be standing in your driveway like a man who forgot something. The 20-minute sentence is gonna come out so weird the first time you say it. That's fine. That's every tool on this channel. Simple doesn't mean easy. It never has. But run it for a month and watch your evenings change shape. The door opens and somebody actually arrives. The people in your house stop bracing when you walk in tired because tired stop meaning gone. And one of these days, the question comes again. How was your day? And you're gonna have more than one word for it. Because your family was never asking for the polished version of you, the one your clients get, right? They just want you in the room. And it turns out that was affordable all along. You just had to move it up the bill. If somebody came to mind while you were watching this, maybe watch it with them. I've pinned a few questions below to help start the conversation. And I'm in the comments every week. If your version of this pattern looks different, tell me about it. We grow together here. That's the whole point. We're beloved. God bless you, and I'll see you in the next one.